One late night, British animal rights activists broke into a lab to free chimpanzees being used for medical research. Despite a lab employee's warnings, the activists ultimately released the rage virus subjects, who are then assaulted and infected by them. The disease seems to spread quickly through its victims in a matter of seconds, turning them into uncontrollable monsters. After being treated for injuries received while on the job, a bicycle courier named Jim, Killian Murphy, emerges from a coma 28 days later in a deserted hospital. As soon as he steps outside the hospital, he sees that London is utterly deserted and covered with disaster debris. He stumbles onto a church where a sizable crowd has gathered while he is wandering the streets and crying out to anyone who might still be alive. He immediately learns that they are raving beasts who come at him. The infected people pursue him through the streets before two survivors, Selena, Naomi Harris, and Mark, Noah Huntley, save him and take him to their underground lair in London. They use explosive charges attached to gas pumps to conceal their escape. They demonstrate that the virus spread unchecked throughout society while Jim was unconscious, turning the majority of people into ruthless killers, referred to as the infected, and causing societal collapse, possibly on a global scale. Jim is adamant on visiting his folks. Selena and Mark accompany Jim despite their disagreement with the strategy. He learns that his parents killed themselves. The survivors are attacked by multiple infected that evening, and after the battle is over, Mark is bleeding from a painful cut on his arm. Jim begs Selena to kill him, but she slashes him to death with a machete, explaining to Jim that the illness overpowers its victims in a matter of seconds, making them lethal to others. She forewarns that should he contract the disease, she will kill him in a heartbeat. The following day, as the two are traveling through the abandoned city, Selena rules out intimacy with Jim and states that just the struggle for existence is left. They proceed to investigate when they notice Christmas lights flickering in a high-rise tenement. Jim must stop climbing the stairs around midway because his head is throbbing. Selena says that the sugar in the soda he's been consuming for the past few days is what's causing his crash. They quickly up the remaining stairs after hearing the noises of coming infected when a man in riot gear from the police directs them to his apartment, while fending off the infected. Hannah, a teenager, and her father Frank, Brendan Gleeson, are sequestered in their apartment. Jim and Selena discreetly discuss whether they should stay with Frank and Hannah after being invited to stay the night. Jim claims that they seem like wonderful people, but Selena worries that they would slow them down and cautions Jim that prioritizing others over one's own survival is a surefire way to perish. Frank alerts Jim and Selena the following morning that resources, particularly water, are running low. Despite all the collection containers they've positioned on the tower's roof, it hasn't rained in several weeks. Frank also plays them a looping prepared radio broadcast that soldiers in the Manchester area are supposedly transmitting with the slogan, "The answer to infection." Jim and Selena are informed by Frank that he and Hannah require their assistance in leaving the city. As they ride in Frank's taxi in search of the barricade, the survivors become closer to one another. They exit through a tunnel that is obstructed by a jam of vehicles, and one of the cab's tires blows out. They hastily change the tire and dash out when they discover that a swarm of sick are approaching. They come across an abandoned store on the other side and stock up.